Hello, this is the Armchair Inc. podcast. My name is David,
My name's Evan.
and I'm still hot about this one. We're recording this one. This is number 5.
Yeah.
The day after, because I'm still hot about it. I'm still agitated about it. It's why is time? Why
Yeah.
is time?
You better explain that before.
Just the convention of time, and before, like, I have nothing on it. I have no reasoning. I'm just asking, why is it segmented up into this format? And like, I know you're just going to convince me and just be like, yeah, why not? It's just, but I don't like it. I just don't like it.
So, okay, we'll just go down the list. Like,
First of all, the clock,
Twen-
the traditional clock face.
yeah,
I could never read that. It still doesn't make sense to me. When somebody gives me time, I want it in like 24-hour format,
yeah,
and it's going to be fucking 1910 or 1912 or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be.
yeah. You don't like PM AM.
Don't need that, and I don't want the 10 to quarter past, all that stuff, because that doesn't. It's more efficient to go into your brain as those 4 digits than in any other format.
I think it's much of a muchness, and I think people are just used, like you, are just used to it on a computer from 24 hours. Do you know what I mean?
No, like I never
You always
understood it. Yeah, and when I look at a clock now, I just don't. It doesn't go in what it is. And when somebody says, "Oh, we go at like quarter to," and I'm like, Tell me the time."
That is odd. Yeah, because if someone says numbers to me, it takes me a second longer than if they say quarter.
But I can just picture the numbers in my head, and then they're just burnt in there, so I don't even have to. It's like you don't even have to acknowledge it at the time. It's just in your brain. Whereas the other one's a sentence, and you have to understand it.
I think that might be that whole, even though it's largely bollocks, the visual learning versus audio learning, and you know that thing.
No, what is it like?
Oh,
Just
in schools they
what do you
always
mean?
they always say, like, if you're studying, maybe you're a visual learner or maybe you're a verbal learner. You learn like,
Well, I can't read if I'm listening to somebody talk. So if I'm listening to a podcast, I can't read. It just completely shuts off my ability to read or write.
I think that's normal. That's just distraction. No, but it's more like people say that everyone has a more efficient study technique. Like it's personal to themselves because they might learn things better visually. So they tell people to make graphs out of the information. This is like
Yeah.
study. This is like study skills 101 for fucking that you get taught in school. But yeah, I don't think it's like there's any scientific merit to it at all. I actually think it's totally wrong, but just it's just basically saying use personal preference to study, even though but there's no actual science behind it. But I think it's similar. It might be an effect with you that you just prefer it as numbers than words. Like I think it's
But it has to be more efficient for everybody's brain.
no, I don't think it is.
It's got to be more efficient.
Because yeah, but if you go, maybe this is stretching it, but like, are you better at English or maths?
Numbers, definitely.
Yeah, like for me, I don't know. I'm probably
Not
at,
even maths, just like if something has a measurement, then I'll remember it. But not if it's
yeah.
not complicated, abstract maths.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not a physical thing. I'm not interested. Like, just don't understand.
yeah, but I think I'm probably a lot more moderate in both. Like I just
Just generally smarter.
no, just
Smarter.
English or verbal things and maths make as much sense to me.
Yeah, that's why, like, if you can see the videos that we're making now, the animations,
Yeah.
that's the only way that I'll understand things fully. I'll know it, but like if somebody tells
Oh
me
yeah,
it,
did we ever
it's abstract.
Did we ever say why that's the format for it?
Why that's the format?
Like why the videos are structured in that way and why they are that way?
Well, I don't even know why they are that way, but it's off the Feynman I haven't really thought about it too much, but it's basically off the Feynman's, you know, his
Those videos that he did.
Fun to Imagine.
Yeah.
Just those basic videos where a guy was asking him questions and he was getting kind of irritated and like, what are you asking and why are you asking?
Yeah.
But the way he explained things, just a lot of stuff started to click into my brain a lot more than it had before.
Yeah, he's a brilliant science communicator.
And it's
Renowned.
It's just if you learn the basics like that, if you just understand the basics like that, then everything else is kind of, you can apply some kind of logic to everything.
Yeah, and
without too much knowledge.
Yeah, the way we'll link the video anyway, but the way he explains things is very much like building blocks. So he's like, atoms are always jiggling. That's one thing, and he explains everything relative to, or most things relative to that jiggling.
Yeah, and once that one word jiggling, then everything else just kind of fits in because you have a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
I don't know, was I fucking not paying attention or was I dumb?
It's cool.
But none of that ever kind of made sense to me.
Yeah, but I think that
it might have made sense, but I didn't even care. I probably was like too busy looking out the window or something.
That's probably there's probably two problems. The fact that teachers don't really, they do understand it, but they understand it as well, or maybe a little bit better than you do once you've done they don't understand it further than anyone who's done a physics course.
Because there's no need to.
Yeah.
That's not their job. Their job is to get you this information as efficiently as possible.
And I'm not saying, not all teachers, but I'm sure some of them are just, they learnt it and they're just saying it back to you, so that the understanding is kind of lost in it.
Yeah, well, I don't think science wasn't a hobby as it is now. Knowing things is a hobby now.
No. Infotainment.
Yeah, that's the whole new thing, like.
Yeah, I suppose I don't know that. My whole life's been infotainment.
Yeah.
But
before that I couldn't give a shit, like.
But what was I going to say? But the other problem is probably it's in words and still images, and that was kind of why we brought in that, why animation was, we thought it was important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things...
Crude animation.
Yeah. Bricks and blocks and... Yeah. But like, a lot of things, even chemical processes and, electrical things that in reality don't move. You can make analogies for stuff move. Like, electricity moves. Not in the way of like water through a pipe.
Yeah, because it's yeah, that was the only analogy that somebody... Because, like, I even did, I did modules on electromechanics and stuff like that in college, but without having a kind of a base understanding of it, because it didn't have a physical form. But if we could get some kind of visualization, animation kind of thing,
yeah,
then everything the numbers and symbols you apply to it would make sense.
I think another thing that really...
The garden hose thing never made sense with resistance and stuff, and
the garden. The width of it was...
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I've never heard it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's the wider it is, the less resistance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's plenty of places where it's... Oh yeah, a lot of people don't get to the point where they understand the equations. The equations, a lot of people learn them off and just know the inputs. Even me included, like I learnt some of the equations as inputs. Just you put them into these things, and that is all you need to know to do the test. So
yeah, and you have a general outcome. The outcome should be generally this.
Yeah, you kind of know, but you're not understanding the full process. It's like a little black box that it goes into. You just put it in there, and you're like, I don't know, it came out.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's really how it works. But
I did physics, and that was pretty much it. Like,
yeah, but I go back to the time thing. I think that's your problem with it. Your brain just has an affinity for numbers.
Numbers,
purely.
shapes, colors.
Yeah. So I think you can.
That's
I don't
it.
think you can tell everyone stop saying.
I
quarter
think you
past.
learn numbers, shapes, and colors before you learn even like the alphabet. I think.
No, you learn letters before numbers, don't you?
Do you?
I suppose you do have a concept of numbers before you have a concept of letters, though,
Yeah.
because you're like, I got two
Physically
crackers,
more things. Yeah.
two grapes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be.
It's way more useful.
I suppose like it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was what was it? There was some people. I was listening to a radio show and they were talking about people that were illiterate in later life, like the they were saying like the Floyd Money Mayweather. He's like pretty much he can't read
yeah,
and stuff like that. But and they were kind of saying, oh, it must be awful, you know, because it's very hard to learn the language because you've none of that structure
Yeah.
in your brain. Actually, they were saying like, why can't you just get Rosetta Stone and stuff like that? But it doesn't make any sense because you've no language structure in your brain.
Yeah. Why would you even say
Like, 'cause, like people learn a different language. Like you can learn Japanese, but you have
you
some
have
kind
the
of
structures? You're
some kind of structure. Yeah,
even nouns, verbs, and
but
yeah.
like I know being able to read and write is important,
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
but I couldn't really care for it. Like, I think I could get around it now.
I don't think so. Oh, that you could live now without learning to read and write.
Yeah, I'd even go as far as doing an experiment and not read for
I
a
think.
week. I'll try it. No words.
I think you need to learn to read and write to have a base. Like if you don't, I suppose everything can be told to you, but it's just much more efficient to disseminate knowledge through books.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's 30 students asking teachers things all day, every day. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Within the school system like that, it still has to work that way. There's too much knowledge in books that can be independently learnt to just discount it. But I see your point that you can, like Floyd Mayweather may not be the best guy to be an example for that, but
He doesn't need words.
yeah, he doesn't need words, but that's because he exists to punch things. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, but like
ways
that,
around it.
but there's
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, but that's a very specific, like, to be a professional sports person. That's
If he was a better communicator, he mightn't have been as good a boxer.
he might
If the only conflict resolution you had was to punch somebody in the face.
yeah that that's theory actually. Yeah. God.
No, that was sorry. I just went off on that. I was just like, yeah, because the language thing is. It's an important part of a brain. I'm just talking
Yeah.
shit like.
Yeah, but I do see your point that where now you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't maybe 20 years ago. Well, you could still. He did. But I think it's easier now again because of the internet.
Yeah.
I think, oh no, you have to read everything. Because you read like, the average person reads something like 10 times more than the average person read in the 80s. Daily.
I don't know. Not with like if there's like an image beside it and you're like just a few words. It's not like you're reading a body of text.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, it's through like ads and just random words popping up everywhere.
Mm.
Like the word, if you're online a lot, your whole world is very text rich. Like there's no, like if you go onto YouTube, there's a million titles, and whether you like it or not, you actually do pick up what's in the title.
True. Yeah. I just can't. You can't see it in a different way.
Yeah, it's not like hard reading where you go, I'm gonna read this novel.
All right, but you dodged the question. Time. Why is this time system? We have 24-hour day.
Because it works. It's one of those memes. No, not a meme as in a picture of a fucking Bad Luck Brian and text. I mean like the Dawkins, when he coined the term, his meaning for it, that it's a cultural information. It's like a idea. It's an idea.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it to you. I know you know, but I'm saying it to you as if you don't, because you're like the character in the movie who goes, "What's this?"
Yeah, I mean, it's just a character.
No, but so
I'm not
other
actually
people.
dumb.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh god. But yeah, it just has to be like that because it was passed along.
Who fucking came up with it?
The sun came up with it. It was a sundial originally.
But why 12 increments?
Because 12 increments make sense.
How about 2 increments?
Is it? Oh, it might be because it's from a different... No, it was 12 months and 12...
Oh yeah, 12 months.
Because they could... It just made sense from nature. And it was just kind of brought over in 12s. Because it was it's a Roman thing, isn't it? Pretty sure the calendar is a Roman thing. Or the...
Yeah.
The Roman calendar, I think, spawned the time system that we use.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the Roman calendar was a Roman thing though.
Yeah, I meant to say time. Yeah. But, like, it just passed on. Maybe it is wrong now. But it's like saying, we should have a different language that's better.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't expect everything to change along with it. Like
You want to do, like, you can make a new time system, but it's going to be
But it
like
could be
Esperanto.
just it's the new
The
language.
fucking Spanish-French mix, isn't it? Or is it English-French?
That's a bit old, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was... I'm saying it's the same intention.
When was that around? The 90s?
I'd say it was earlier than that. I think people heard about it in the 90s. But...
What was the next one they were going to come up with? Panglish or something?
Jesus. Yeah.
I don't even know what it was. I haven't heard about this stuff in years. They got fairly shelved those ideas.
Yeah, because people realise they make no sense, like, to do that.
Yeah, because somebody's like, well, I have a new, better system. And they're like,
And
is it better?
especially if you're, like, going halfway between two languages. Like, both languages will have... Like, imagine saying a sentence and people think you're talking to them in a certain language.
I think they're horrible ideas.
Yeah. But same with time. You can't... That is a very concise and well-reasoned argument.
I don't want it. I don't care.
I don't know.
I just know that my brain could work from, like, if time started.
Yeah,
and
what?
You just count consecutively. I haven't come up with a better system yet.
Yeah, basically, just outline what you kind of want. What'd be better?
Well, I don't know. Just divide the day into 3. And then, I don't know, a division of 3s.
Do you know what I think I'd like better, actually, now that you say it?
There's other ways of doing it, like.
But I think I'd understand a bar much faster than I would a clock.
Yeah, that's the interface is awful. To fucking represent it going around in a circle.
Yeah.
3 hands going around in a circle. What's this?
Yeah, what? No one cares about the seconds.
If it was just another number, it'd be fucking ideal.
Does second hand exists on... Do they put them on clocks anymore? Because you have
We're too busy nowadays.
you have your phone to time stuff.
Nobody nowadays has time for seconds. I don't know. I assume they would. Some clocks have them, some clocks don't.
I don't know why I'm asking you. You like literally...
I can't read them.
You're
I
talking about
fucking
how you
ignore
hate
them.
clocks.
And they make a noise as well. Which people who find that soothing, I want to fucking murder them.
That's like a childhood thing.
Is it?
If you're
Is that way?
if you had your clock in your room and you were fine with it, maybe that just carries over.
Why does Wayne Rooney find a Hoover relaxing then? What happened in his childhood?
Who was the kid?
He was always eating crisps. God damn Wayne.
He was eating crisps in the bed. That was the problem. You had to get hoovered every day.
His mother actually invented the handy vac just to...
the Dyson one handle. Yeah.
He's always covered in crumbs. He looks like a fella who could always have crumbs. Like he could actually pull a biscuit out of his pocket and be like, who's wrong?
Yeah, what was the thing I was saying? No, there was a comedian. He was like, I don't get all this male grooming. I don't know why you need to do it. I mean, I hoover. What's your problem? Oh, yeah, gross. But anyway, you don't like time. So would a bar be better?
Yep.
I think I might implement that on my.
3 bars of 8 increments.
No, fuck that. Just one bar.
3 bars at 8 increments. That's still 24.
I'd rather have one really long.
You sleep, you work, you do others.
What, for 3 8-hour? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I get you. I thought you meant. I wasn't even listening when you said 3. I was like, hours, minutes, seconds. That's all I heard in my head.
No. The
Yeah.
24 is broken into 3 bars, and then it's.
Yeah, that might work better than a. I just think it'd look cool on the wall if you just had a loading bar for your day.
Go build me a clock now.
How would you do that now? That sounds impossible to do a straight line.
Just run 24 LEDs and then.
Yeah, be easy.
Oh, right, you're sarcastic.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Oh, what was I reading about?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I have seen stuff of like different clocks. But
Yeah, but you want someone to do it right.
well, I don't know if it's done right. I'm not going to investigate into somebody else's logic.
But you want your regular clock to be changed.
Okay, I'll settle for that.
You want
Don't even get me started on February. Your
Yeah.
fucking system.
that can't change. Because there's so many calculations done on that.
Yeah. Everything is dependent on it now. Yeah.
Like you don't want to be there calculating or changing over that and a comet just hits you.
A comet?
Yeah. Well, actually, it wouldn't be a comet then, would it?
Just shit from space just falling out.
No, I mean it'd be. I think a comet doesn't actually hit anything. I think that's the point.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's a meteorite. I can't remember that it was boloid and
Meteor, meteorite. That's just size.
yeah, I think so. Maybe I don't know. Forget. But yeah. So we fixed time.
Yeah, we might actually make a video of the meteorite. Just explaining the different ones.
Yeah. Is boloid? Does that have to have ice or some shit? Might be. I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
We'll look it up.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
No, let's just speculate. Like,
Just speculate for another hour on
Yeah.
like what a boloid is.
so you're happy with time? Yeah.
Yeah, we're making you clock, just for me.
I thought you had much bigger problems with it, like, you know,
I still do,
existential ones.
I'm just like, I don't know. It just irks me that I could never read a clock.
Yeah,
It's a personal thing. It's a
Yeah.
personal thing.
I suppose. Yeah, I don't get it at all. But
Once he started mentioning changing over anything to a different system, then I'm like, no, not doing that. It's
Yeah,
not like
that's-
rewriting a book in a different language. It's
that's Y2K all over again.
yeah.
But
That was awful. You weren't there. It was crazy.
When nothing happened, was it? Yeah, I hear about. No one told me. I could have died.
What were you only like
I-
fucking 4 or 5?
I was 5. No one let me know at all. I was just happy out. No one told me. Actually, that's how I'd rather go. Well, at the age of 5, I was sticking Legos up my nose anyway.
What a dark thought already.
God, I'd rather not know. Even at the age of 5, if you'd asked me, I'd be like, yeah, I'd rather not know. Yeah, don't get me started on what's the best way to die in a horrible accident.
No, I don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
I don't want to play that game.
I have an answer and it's the right one. But I do. Everyone agrees with me when I say it.
Alright, what is it? So,
Hit by lightning.
oh, it's pretty good, yeah.
Most likely hits your head. Well, it does hit your head. Cooks you, and it's fast. It's faster than your nervous system, so you can't feel it.
Ooh,
Plus, you're one solid
you're
piece.
really selling it.
You're one solid piece, so people can actually carry your body away rather than have to bag you.
Oh,
in
you're
bits.
not even. It's not even bittage.
Yeah, you just okay. You will have scarring, but it mightn't be on your face. Like a lot of the time, it's down your back.
Well, I'm not gonna like even try and come up with a different way just to fucking
It's good though,
just
isn't it?
entertain it. That's pretty solid. Yeah, you've reasoned it quite well.
Like
But-
if it was an accident, like you're not going to accidentally fall on sedative. Then
Well, lightning is
potassium-
usually an accident now. That's usually
Yeah.
you've gone a bit off the beaten track, like in
Storm, X-Men.
You're a man above.
Yeah.
There's two people, Halle Berry and fucking.
was it
JC.
Halle, is it still Halle Berry in the new movies?
I don't know. Is it?
She's still Storm.
Is Stormy
No,
Vanilla?
I'm just thinking she's probably too old now.
I think it was her.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But anyway, yeah. Is that that's pretty close to the right answer?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
that's good. But also, what is lightning?
What is lightning? Lightning is the chair.
Because it doesn't hit the spikes on the buildings that you put on,
Well, it does.
but it can hit anywhere.
Yeah, but it's more likely to go through those.
No, I don't think so.
It
I
is.
seen something on QI and it was like, oh, it'll hit wherever it wants.
Yeah, but it's more likely to hit those things.
All right. It's not 100%.
No, it's not 100%, but it's not going to hit halfway down that building.
It can.
Really?
Yeah. It'll hit the top and it'll hit the side. Because it's like, what is it? It's
just a build-up of
static in the clouds. And
static
clouds
in the clouds, yeah.
rubbing off each
So
other.
it gives a charge. I don't know. It'd give a charge in the. It'd make it negative. The clouds.
Negative clouds. So it goes from negative to thing. But doesn't it meet halfway in the middle?
No, it like goes down, or it goes. Lightning goes up the bit that we can see, or something like that.
Okay.
But I think goes down first, down then up,
Down first and
or
and
up
then
then down. I
the
don't.
thing the charge goes down and it's not even visible and then it creates the
Yeah, something like that.
spark.
Maybe
And that follows up along that.
like what we see is just ionized air. Like it just breaks. It breaks the atom, the nucleus from the electrons, and it glows. It's just super hot.
Ooh, that's a lot of
It's
energy.
plasma,
Alright.
and that's how nitrates are formed. Most nitrates naturally.
What's that potassium and shit? It's a
No,
nitrate.
nitrogen. Like
Oh, just
nitrogen,
nitrogen.
nitrogen and oxygen. It's NO3. Is it? It's not. Nitrogen is N2. So it has to break that pretty strong bond apart and puts it together with oxygen.
NO3.
And that's fertilizer. That's natural fertilizer. Like
Alright.
it's a really weird. Like you wouldn't think that's part of the biological process, but it is.
Does it not come from anywhere else? Nitrates.
It happens to other places, but I know that happens. I don't know but it happens naturally. I'm sure. There's nitrogen fixing bacteria that do a lot of the work as well. There's nitrogen fixing. There's a whole nitrogen cycle to do with bacteria and that create nitrates, and they do a lot of the work. They do most of the work, but
So
like,
am I
lightning
completely
also does
off, or is there something to do with that and the creation of life in the first place?
the spark, like
Yeah.
yeah, there was a spark for the spark. No, they think the experiment that was done.
Well, like you need nitrates as a fertilizer.
Yeah, for plant life, but sure, they were only making amino acids with the first experiment. Like, are you talking about the actual experiment that they did, or just a hypothetical?
The experiment that they did.
It was like a globe filled with
There was a spark in that.
yeah, it was a globe filled with like, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, your basic elements for life, and then they electrocuted it. They put sparks through it.
The thing from the lighter. They just held a lighter like this and they were like...
Yeah, it was more of an arc across the whole thing, but it was a bit bigger. But yeah,
They just broke up a lighter and they were like, look.
it was lightning in a bottle. I think that's where the phrase came from. Isn't that how they said? Like lightning in a bottle is like something that out of nothing, isn't it?
No, it's to capture something special.
Oh,
Like lightning in a bottle.
oh, then it was probably predated that definitely.
I think it predated that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that experiment done?
I don't know. The video's in black and white. I fucking 50s. I think it was post World War Two, but
Yeah, they're like, we'll stop fighting. Why are we here?
yeah, it was after fighting and before color.
Yeah. Did we ever question why are we here before?
Yeah, people have asked.
Like I'd say it's usually after a big fight.
After a big falling out, everyone goes, "Why?" Though?
Yeah, well, they say like technological advances happens because of war, but I'd say then a lot of philosophical advances happen right after them
Probably.
because it'll be like a burst. It'll be
Yeah,
like
they
a
just
little
have to-
acceleration to
They have to
society.
ask questions. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Oh, just
I don't know how you can just
I
like,
don't
go
know.
back to individual words and then interview people and be like, "Do you feel smarter?
Yeah.
Do you question things more now?"
What was I gonna say? I was gonna ask, do you have the thing where you see the 90s as like really saturated in color because you were there,
Saturated in color.
like you were aware of the world. I was only became aware of the world when like World Trade Center happened. That was the start of my consciousness, pretty much.
The 90s, I didn't realize how much I thought was 80s was actually in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like,
Jurassic Park.
that was 80s, but it like that
was
kind of goofy shit like bled halfway into the 90s.
Yeah, but like what I'm asking, like when I think of the 90s, because of the way the cameras were, and the way people dressed, everything was really color saturated. So when I imagine the 90s, it's all color saturated, and then back the 80s is like grainy color, and it's all like browny fuzzy, and then you go black and white. Like I can
Brownie fuzzy to me is the 70s, and the really like kind of colouredy and cloudy is it's got like fog machines. 80s is like really neons and fog machines, and then the 90s is just like bold primary colours.
yeah. Well, that all leads into the 80s is like the midpoint of that. Yeah, in my head too.
Yeah, no, I think like the 90s was just primary colours. Just all the primary colours put together on one item of clothing.
I suppose I can't even ask. Like I can't even properly ask it. Like it's just in my head.
The 2000s was everybody had like spiky hair.
See, I think that is the 90s, like bleached hair and spiky hair. But I suppose it was the 2000s. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Late 90s, 2000s. Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to pick out time periods
But
like when you've been through them.
They,
Do you know what I mean?
Falls together.
It's impossible to pick out
No,
a certain decade. Like
it was just a thing because it was up on Reddit. They always do these recoloring things from like war photos, and you're
Okay.
like, oh, it was the real world. Do you know?
oh yeah, yeah.
But even the 90s is like weird for me. Like it's like that's different. They weren't people.
Yeah, I think at different points in your life, different time periods just really, like, they really stand out as like, that is unusual. Because the 80s to me always seemed really weird, but I didn't realise a lot of that was in the 90s.
I don't think I've any of that.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to identify the 2000s.
Yeah, there's no identifier really.
Oh, there is the spiky hair and stuff like that. But then because
The phones, flip phones, and
because the internet sped up everything so much, and like, you know, those like trend cycles and stuff like that.
yeah,
That it just
hipsters have only been around for a big deal for like 3 years, pretty much
4
4 years.
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
But to me, it feels like, well, that's been around forever.
That's probably been about 5 years.
But even that's like 2010.
Yeah, everybody was into things before that.
Yeah, let's not complain about YouTubers. Or not YouTube. Well, I kind of want again. No, this kind of feeds into the other thing I wanted to ask you. cultural significance of things.
Oh, this game.
Yeah, this thing.
This
You don't know about this yet.
we came up with this game, but we refused to like ask any further questions. What was the one that I had that
to record.
couldn't? We were trying to find the
You were asking Van Gogh's
self-portrait
versus other things.
something off of television.
Yeah, you said SNL, the whole of SNL.
No, you give away the answer. But it was basically, would you delete this item from, not from history, but you just burn it, and there was no other copies of it?
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be any other photos of the painting or anything like that. And then take the TV show and then completely get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like when things are in a museum and they were documented. Not really, they were catalogued, but they weren't like fully looked into. And then the museum burnt down, or they threw out, like that's happened through history. They threw out less. What did they throw out? They threw out like most of a dodo skeleton in one place, in like 100 years ago, because they were like, it's too full. We'll just keep the feet and the head.
Yeah.
And like now there's no complete dodo skeletons.
None.
Or maybe there's one, but it's like hard to do. But yeah, like that. We know of it, but it's gone.
We know of it, but it doesn't exist. And there's like you could have like a
Dead
really
Sea
old
Scrolls,
etching picture. Do you know those old pictures that they had that was just kind of etched in books?
Yeah,
that kind of picture of it, just some kind of representation and the information.
But with a show, you can't have like a screenshot.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it can't be like, it can't be just a bit from the show. It has to be like
somebody taking off their film camera, taking a picture of the TV.
Yeah.
Well, it has those lines and everything on it.
Yeah, it can't be perfect. But anyway, that's really
that's basically the game. So it's you get rid of one item.
Yeah.
You have to pick Sophie's choice of culture.
I've never seen that movie, so I'm gonna go yeah. Yeah. So ask me the one you're asking. Van Gogh versus.
Van Gogh versus.
Yeah.
And we settled on. We went through all kinds of TV shows. It was like Sopranos.
Yeah, I would say get rid of Sopranos.
Breaking Bad.
Well, you're asking me shows that I've never. Well, I know how big they are now.
Yeah.
But I just feel maybe like I'd say Sopranos is probably higher up than Breaking Bad, because if you talk about it in terms of
a cultural change,
that was the first one. Breaking Bad is in the mix. It's just the best now.
Yeah. And you kind of have to look at these objectively from, say,
a historian's point of view.
100 years from now.
Yeah. So I would say, still Breaking Bad. No, you wouldn't get rid of Van Gogh.
No, definitely not.
No. But your next one
was SNL. That's
the entire 30,
40
years of SNL, which is the thing. Like, I don't watch, but I know I've seen bits from it, and I know how, because it is social commentary, because it is comedy, it does contain like a lot of culture.
Yeah, it's got 40 years of political history.
Yeah.
And societal opinion on it, like.
Yeah. So I think.
So yeah, that one works.
I think SNL is more valuable than. Yeah.
Van Gogh's self-portrait.
Yes.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with you. I'll go with you on that one. All right. So what's? You have to give me one now.
Okay. Well, I was going bigger again. The Sphinx.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the entirety of YouTube.
The Sphinx.
Yes.
Or the entirety of YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube, put a plug in it now.
Yeah.
Put it in a time capsule, buried under a tree in the garden, wait 100 years.
Yeah. I think this one is easy for me, but anyway.
What did the Sphinx do?
Nothing.
It was a mythical thing.
Oh, yeah, the Sphinx, in all, like, like stories about it. It asks you questions.
Oh, the riddle of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
There was a game on the GameCube called Sphinx.
Yeah, that's where I got my information.
In the early 2000s.
Yeah. No, but I think that's probably written on some stone somewhere. In Giza.
This guy asking questions.
Yeah.
Dated are the type of the pharaohs.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
It's a monument, though.
You think this one's very easy?
Well, I have an answer.
So, like, this is basically take it down block by block and blow it up into dust.
Gone, yeah.
No photos of it. Or can you have
Well,
photos of
there's
that?
photos of it.
You can't have photos of it.
It's gone, though.
But you just blow it up. Can we have 3D mapping of it?
Well, we pretty much already have that. If you have enough photos of something, you had 3D. Like, I'd say there is enough, like, that Microsoft program, I think it was called Sea Dragon or something.
Yeah, where you can just map they mapped, what is it, Notre Dame?
Notre Dame and some temple, was it in India or in South America?
They mapped them just from tourist photos.
Yeah, it's like a weird kind of 3D.
Yeah, just built all the information just from like a complete collage, like it just stuck them.
It's weird, yeah.
So we can have that.
But you can't have the composition of the stone or stuff like that, even though it will be the same as parts of.
And YouTube, I would imagine, once you hit delete, there's nothing of it.
There's no, it's not like if a site had it embedded in it, it stays there like a video. No, gone. But people will still have probably have their own videos saved somewhere, professional YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no evolution of the dance. There's no Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah, but I think they will all exist anyway.
They all have them individually.
Because I think enough people have made stupid presentations where they included those videos.
Oh no, but those videos are still there, but just YouTube doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
The stuff that's not saved.
That might be more of a purge. That might be a good thing. You don't know.
Yeah.
Anything worth putting back up would go back up.
No, everything go back up.
Well, then it's not gone. I'd say just...
I think a lot more would disappear than people think.
Oh, but you're saying that everything worthwhile will go back up.
But not everything worthwhile will go back up because people don't have those videos. They're on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever's not stored. So I'd say it'd lose like 50% of the stuff on it. No, it'd lose 90% of the stuff on it.
Somewhere between 50 and 90, yeah. But the reason I asked is because there's reasons why the Sphinx is like still there. Because we have photos of it. And there's reasons why YouTube is kind of still there. That's why I was equating the two.
Yeah. Okay. You've given me some kind of stuff. But what was the guy who was one of the ex-heads of Microsoft?
Was Google or Microsoft?
It was Google or Microsoft. I think it was Microsoft.
Probably both, if we actually looked into it.
Micro-Google.
Yeah.
Goosoft.
Goosoft.
But he was saying that this is going to be like a Dark Ages.
Internet. I think he was... Yeah, but I think that's a bit further out than we think.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I know, I don't mean it right now, like, but that kind of stuff could happen.
It's as soon as we get rid of textbooks. Maybe in 30 years' time, that can happen.
Yeah.
But it can't happen now.
So, YouTube or the Sphinx? Well, because everything can just go back up on YouTube. And it'll just be a purge.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say keep the Sphinx.
Keep the Sphinx. Oh, yeah.
Is that my reasoning's good enough?
Yeah, but sure, it's impossible to tell. But, oh yeah, if people want to play the game, do it in the comments.
Oh yeah. Play the game in the comments. Yeah, no, because there's some other ones, like there's really good ones.
Yeah, it's hard to do though. Okay, Oh, right. 50 Shades of Grey or Ulysses.
50 Shades of Grey, just burn it right now. Not even. No, I'm not even doing that.
But as a cultural thing, yeah, it is 50 Shades of Grey. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, thanks.
I was trying to think of a book that's like
So immediate.
big and modern, but like,
No, I think you got to put a book against.
yeah, I think books are old already.
I'm gonna put Ulysses against the Super Nintendo.
Actually, go with the book I've read. Go with Sherlock Holmes. The entire works Sherlock or Arthur Conan Doyle.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and come up with something.
Yeah.
From a different medium, that you would keep rather than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as the Super Nintendo and its entire catalog of games.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of Sherlock Holmes.
Really?
Yeah,
You went that fast on that?
that quick. No,
Love the
because
Sherlock Holmes books.
like
Oh, you're going objective on it.
the games wouldn't have happened. The games that came from Nintendo wouldn't have happened. Like if you're talking about that, you're actually talking about the intellectual properties of it. If you were just talking about the game system and the games continued on onto some other console, I'd be like, fuck it, who cares? Because we'll eventually progress into that. It would have eventually progressed into, there was other 16-bit consoles.
Okay.
Or 32, whichever it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but once you say, if you ignored the Super Nintendo altogether, but
So
you
you
just
mean
said
the IP and the
catalog of
franchises.
games
Yeah.
is gone, I think that's more culturally significant than...
So, yeah. Entire Arthur Conan Doyle and the Super Nintendo titles.
Yeah,
Getting rid of Sherlock.
Getting rid of Sherlock.
Oh man, I nailed that a good one.
That's
That's
such...
a good one.
That's the computer game nerds.
Okay, I'll pick one thing that... Oh no, because it's got to be culture. It can't be personal. Because I was going to pick something personal. And that wouldn't really... So I'll pick like something that's objectively good.
Yeah,
that I
like
kind of
maybe I'm
know.
wrong with that, but I think Sherlock Holmes influenced crime novels. Like it was the first. It set up the structure for fucking CSI to happen. But do you know what? In terms of literature, it was good. It was great, and at the time it was brilliant. But it was more of a. It wasn't like a. It was popular at the time, which is weird for a great work to be popular at the time that it was written or made.
Yeah.
It's never the best thing, is it?
Your book's usually got to be around for a good while before it gets...
Yeah, the guy has to be dead and poor, or poor than dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's... I would...
Yeah, what would you with the same?
Oh... I don't know, is that just subjective or objectively the cultural influence of...
Well, of course it's subjective, but I think those characters have been around. Like
I don't know. I think maybe in 100 years from now,
actually, it is completely subjective because subjectively, but I hate the Sherlock Holmes movies, so I'm almost glad they're gone.
yeah, but then you lose the TV show.
I don't mind that. Like that's a brilliant show, but I don't mind that as much.
You can lose that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably too subjectively.
I just feel like there's just more to Nintendo characters in terms of influence than other games. Like the whole industry spawned off those characters.
Okay. I'll
Or not the characters, but the IP of how games are structured.
Yeah.
Side scrolling, top down with...
Yeah, it's a large chunk of the game industry.
Yeah. But then you could argue
Even
that
though...
they would have happened anyway with different characters.
Yeah, but then you could say that about the book as well.
Yeah.
You could say the book would have happened, but the book is is one book out of a lot.
So I think that was my vote, but it is online, like.
Yeah, that was very close.
Yeah. What else? What else? This. Oh yeah. Could we talk about the fucking guys busting the shit up in the museum? The ISIS.
The ISIS stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly what was in that museum.
Doesn't matter really, does it?
It's very old.
It's very old shit, and they broke it because it was.
It's from the beginning of humanity.
Yeah. The cradle of humanity.
Yeah.
Isn't that yeah.
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah, and they just broke it. I just wanted to say
They're just drilling into it.
they're dickheads.
Well, that is pretty much what this game came from, yeah.
Yeah, that is what it came from. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's funny how a lot of people thought. With ISIS, it was just like, okay, there's just more murder happening. There's just more murder happening, and it wasn't really a change.
Yeah, there's different people killing people.
But there's in my lifetime, there's always been the same level of people killing people over there in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I know the detail. Like I know that there's been events, and I know more about it than the average person my age. But still, you can't really keep up with how many died every year in every country over there.
Yeah.
So
true,
in my
'cause
mind,
it's too far away. Yeah.
It's just been constant war in that area.
Oh shit! Yeah, this has been going on for fucking
80s was the start of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but the more recent stuff, the newest stuff has been going on since you were like a kid.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah, you weren't even fucking
Yeah,
cognitive.
Yeah, sure. I kind of just started school, and then World Trade Center. Yeah, it was
My
my.
God.
I think it was I was my first or second year of school. So it's like, all right, that's
going off with your lunchbox.
yeah. That was the
Yeah, you're not gonna.
no. That's my whole knowledge of that. But yeah. But so I just think it's been like that forever.
So this really jumped out at you as something new.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people it did, because it's been so long. It's been 15 years of war there, or trouble in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Even if it hasn't been like that, I'm very hesitant to say it's just been like that. But from my perception of it,
Yeah, from media, whatever.
So that really jumped out, and I was like, "Fuck those guys!" I didn't. I totally ignored it up till now. Like I've seen 2 documentaries on ISIS, but I probably, it's not a lot to know about them, and I haven't been keeping up with what they're doing. I'm just like, I don't want to know.
Yeah. It was ignorable.
But that
it sounds weird to say it's ignorable, but you kind of have to put it with
that video destroying of like cultural stuff.
I'm not even going to look at it. Like, I don't look at anything you can't unsee.
I don't know. I think it was taken down. I saw it.
I don't watch anything they put out. I have no
Oh,
interest
the
in
beheadings
any of their videos.
Yeah.
No
Production quality is shocking. No. Yeah, I don't know if anyone really does. I know there's lots of
The people watch that shit. People don't go by the rule of you can't unsee shit.
Yeah. But that's it was funny the reaction that had online, because there was much more articles about that than about just there's another 40 dead today.
Yeah.
In just a little skirmish.
Yeah. It completely jumped out of the headlines when you're scrolling through and you're like, oh, that's...
Yeah, which is back to my shit of, if it's remarkable, it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just new, different.
Yeah, let's just make a change. Let's destroy culture stuff rather than lives and actual people.
Oh. I don't want to see the thing, but I hear it's just like, it's like petty just drilling into a thing. Like,
they just knock it over and hit it with a sledgehammer. Yeah, it's just like, it's fucking rocks. Leave it, like it's people worked on those rocks. Just leave it alone. It's not but it's false idols and stuff. That's the.
For sure, even I suppose people do worse things. I don't even know what the things are, but like just as historical significance, regardless of what's attached to it.
Yeah. It's like they're holding their own country back.
Yeah.
Even though I think the thing is like, even the opinion over there, it's like ISIS is from Afghanistan, I think. Or no, it's from Iraq. What am I saying? The country that it's in is not the country that it's from.
Okay.
But see, I don't even know enough about it to know where that was. I just ignore it, and
yeah, no, it's just, well, we made a fun little game for us. that was our culture game. It was
a lovely little
a bit
game.
of a lighthearted game, and then you're like, oh, this is where it came from.
Yeah, fucking terribleness. No, but it is a good game.
It's a good game regardless.
Yeah, but I can't think of it.
I'm gonna give you one for me now that I'm like an album. Gonna go on album.
Oh, that's a weird thing for me, but go on.
Well, I'm just gonna go like not personally my favorite thing, but just something kind of objectively accepted as good.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'll have a look. Would I say something like Beatles? I say the Beatles. I say. That was probably one of the most influential. We'd say Beethoven's complete works.
Ah, you just fucking changed the question altogether. Okay.
But I don't know much about that, but I just imagine that
that's important.
The development of music.
That was important.
And older is gooder.
Yeah. It's like wine. That's the reference, isn't it?
Oh yeah. This is the reference. This is Black Book's reference. Yeah. I forgot
you looked so
watch
confused. I was like, you just made the reference. What do you mean?
The older it is, the gooder it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got that'll
versus that?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be music. No.
No. It works better if it's from something else.
Okay. How about that? Ooh, this is a weird one. The Afghan girl photo. Because wasn't that like a rallying cry for, supporting?
Yeah, it's not fair because I can picture that really clearly, but I could not hum a bit of fucking Beethoven right now. It's just like not in my brain.
Okay, I'll pick something else.
I don't. The music, I think. Oh, the music. They went back and took the photo again. She's looking rough. I think they did go back. Or no,
they did.
Okay, yeah.
There was documentaries done looking for the Afghan girl, and then they did find her.
Okay.
She's like 30-something.
Really? Yeah. How many years later how many years old?
I don't even know. But sure, Afghanistan was before, was it not the 90s? Or the 80s? I don't even know, I wasn't around.
I don't know either. I just remember that photo always existing. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't know when it's
old,
from.
Like, it's really old. But okay, we'll do Beethoven again, but I'll change the.
Oh no, you have to keep coming up with things. I'm keeping Beethoven.
Oh, you're keeping Beethoven.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, because it was so influential. Citizen Kane. Never seen it. I've seen loads of clips from it, but I've heard it's very influential in movies.
Do you mean the structure of modern movies are based off of that?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it.
You haven't seen it? Oh, I thought you would have seen it.
Is that the one where they go Rosebud at the end?
Yeah. He goes, Rosebud. And he drops a globe.
Why do we know that and not have seen a
Because
second of the
it's
movie?
a ridiculous thing. But it's because no one knows what it means.
Rosebud.
Yeah. No one knows.
Okay. Was it not a sleigh?
I don't know. I've seen a bit of a speech from it, a bit of a song bit from it, a musical number.
I guess we'll be watching that.
I guess we will. I just can't think of other, like, that was the most influential movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That might be a case of olderer is gooderer.
I don't know which one it is. No, a lot of people looking back on it, they're like, this is not great, but at the time, this was changed everything.
Okay.
I don't remember the difference, but either Gone with the Wind or the other one that's like it. I haven't seen either of them because I don't like musical movies.
Casablanca?
No, there was another one. It was in color. Skippy movie. I don't know. I call it a Skippy movie. Everyone in my mind skips in those movies.
Oh, The Sound of Music or some shit.
Sound of Music. That was it.
Oh, the Beethoven stuff. Definitely.
But one of them. See, I don't know which one I'm talking about. One of them introduced, or had that, like, really big crane shot and stuff. There was loads of new stuff in that. In terms of cinematography, it was much bigger in scale.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna come up with a movie that I think would...
Movie's hard.
An individual movie. Maybe if you pick like a director and then...
Oh, how about Al Gore, Inconvenient Truth?
Get rid of that.
But that, that started most things about global warming. For
People's awareness.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it did.
You have a recycling bin because of Al Gore.
Yeah, and I don't have any of those funny curly wigs because of Beethoven. I'd imagine he wore one of those.
Powdered wig. Yeah.
And jodhpurs, or whatever pants they were.
Yeah, they seem like the worst idea ever.
I think all the clothes were shit because of the fastenings. They have no good fastenings.
Yeah.
Buttons and zips and stuff.
Yeah.
Elastics.
Yeah, sure, it didn't have to be like buttoned all the way up to here.
Yeah.
You had to have a big gut just to hold your clothes on.
Get buttoned up and don't eat anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think we've been like going over an hour there.
Have we? Alright.
Yeah, I'll give you Inconvenient Truth. We'll burn the Beethoven.
Yeah. See, we don't know well enough.
We're not cultured.
Yeah. That's what I've learned today.
Yeah.
I don't know shit all about.
That was a good game until like we got like 2 or 3 rounds in that we didn't even test out the game and we're like, nah. Nah, I don't really give a fuck about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Burn it all. So collectively now we've burnt like most of all The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, all those, none of those stood up.
See, like there's definitely a fundamental flaw in the game that
If you have a lot of stuff.
no, but that stuff now it will be easier to see how it influenced stuff in the future. So it's easier to see how stuff recently influenced you.
Okay.
Like I could say Al Gore and Inconvenient Truth because there's a very clear
Yeah.
change. But sure, who knows what Beethoven, what that changed at the time. I'm sure everyone knows other than us. But
people are just screaming. You're like, shut up, you dummies.
no one knows. Anyway, is that
Yeah. So why is time?
Because it's a meme that has survived.
I'll take it. We'll go develop a new clock. There was a few other things. We'll listen back. There was a few that I wanted to do the comets. The meteorites.
Oh, so you said comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and we come up with the name of the game. What was it? It was like
No, let other people come up with it. We'll come up with something.
Sophie's culture choice.
Yeah, you come up with that. I'll be like, I'll come up with something way too wordy. I'll be like, cultural.
Yeah, yours will make sense, and I'll be like, what? It'll make sense to you, and I'm like, there's too many big words. I don't get it.
It's gonna have 4 words if I make it up.
Oh God.
Yeah.